Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Happy Verma and I am your English language coach. We all have been through this difficult phase where we all have stuck while speaking in English to anyone in our daily lives. That's why I would like to welcome everyone to our everyday conversational English, mastering natural fluency, active social mechanics, high yield spoken grammar, and connected speech. I'm thrilled to have you here for this comprehensive masterclass. Many English learners reach a point where they know grammar rules on paper, but when it comes to real time spontaneous conversation, they feel stuck, overly formal, or hesitant. This session is specifically engineered to bridge that gap between textbook knowledge and natural, effortless spoken communication. Over the course of this masterclass, we will dismantle the key barriers to fluency. We are going to look at the subtle social mechanics that native speakers use to initiate and hold conversations. High impact spoken grammar structures that immediately raise your spoken confidence. The secret patterns of connected speech and practical workspace communication strategies. Grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's dive into transforming your spoken English step by step. Now, have you ever found yourself in a social room where you wanted to say something but hesitated because you didn't know how to start without sounding awkward? Or perhaps you found yourself trapped in a conversation and didn't know how to politely end it. Spoken fluency isn't just about your vocabulary, it's heavily reliant on social metrics. Module 1 focuses on the core foundations required to start, sustain, and smoothly navigate daily social interactions with complete confidence. We are going to cover everything from context driven greetings and conversation frameworks to diplomatic disagreement and active listening techniques. Let's examine the four key pillars of daily conversation flow. Number 1, contextual greetings. Matching formality effortlessly. The way you greet a close colleague or friend at 8 a.m. Hey, how's it going? Is fundamentally different from how you might greet a senior stakeholder or client. Good morning, pleasure to meet you. Choosing the right greeting sets the emotional tone instantly. The ARE framework. This stands for anchor, reveal, encourage. It's a three-part conversational formula used to start small talk effortlessly. You anchor on the current context, reveal a quick personal detail, and encourage the other person with an open question. Close starters like "Are you new?" limit the speaker to a simple yes or no. By swapping these with open hooks like "What brings you here today?" you give the listener space to elaborate. Ending a conversation smoothly is an art. Using phrases like "It was great catching up," "I should head over to grab a coffee," allows you to step away politely without creating an awkward silence. Here, look at our visual representation here. A friendly, confident, professional ready for interaction. Notice the open posture and neutral presentation. In social and professional environments, your verbal delivery matches your visual presence. When introducing yourself, clarity and warmth matter for more than long. Complex explanations of your job history. A memorable self introduction combines who you are, what you do, and a light conversational thread that invites the other person to respond. Let's practice making your social introductions natural, crisp, and inviting. Now let's explore three critical components of active spoken engagement. In native English conversations, listeners don't stay completely silent while someone else talks. They use micro responses like "totally," "no way," "right," and "make sense." These short vocal cues signal active engagement without interrupting the speaker's flow. When you need a second to form your thoughts, don't let dead silence panic you. Replace awkward pauses with natural conversational fillers. That's a great question. To be honest, or off the top of my head, these buy you 2 to 3 seconds to organize your sentence. This involves repeating a keyword with a slightly rising intonation to show genuine interest and prompt elaboration. For instance, if someone says, "We moved to Madrid last month," you can repeat, "To Madrid? Wow!" This acts as an instant green light for them to keep sharing. Now, communication isn't always smooth sailing. Sometimes you mishear a word, need to jump into a discussion, or disagree with a point. Avoid blunt responses like "what" or "hmm." Instead, use soft phrasing. "Sorry, I didn't quite catch that last part. Would you mind expanding a bit on that? If I understand correctly, you mean this, right?" In meetings or fast conversations, jump in gracefully. Try to jump in, but quick question. Can I just add a quick thought here? Before we move on, I wanted to mention direct disagreement can sound harsh in spoken English. Use diplomatic cushions. "I see where you're coming from, but from my experience, the way I see it, that's a fair point, though we should consider this or that." Now, I would like to welcome you to the module 2, High Yield Grammar. Forget about tedious grammar drills and memorizing rare rules that native speakers rarely use in real life. In this module, we focus exclusively on high yield spoken grammar. The specific grammatical structures that carry 80% to 90% of daily conversation load. Over the next few slides, we will master practical tenses, essential modal verbs for politeness, indirect question structures, and prepositions of time and place. Let's review the main present forms used in everyday spoken English. Present tense, used for habits, general truths, and scheduled routines. For example, I usually grab coffee at 8 a.m. before starting work. Present continuous, used for actions happening right now or temporary situations. For example, I'm staying with a friend until my apartment is ready. When you combine always with a continuous form, it communicates slight annoyance or frustration about a recurring habit. This comes under present continuous for complaints. For example, he is always leaving his laptop charger at home. Notice how the subtle grammatical shift communicates mood instantly. Now, one of the most frequent areas of confusion for English learners is choosing between the past simple and present perfect. Past simple is all about using this when the action occurred in a finished time period. Yesterday, last week, in the year 2023, or some other year, 2 hours ago. For example, I called him yesterday at noon. We launched the product last Tuesday. Did you see Sarah at the party? Present perfect. Use this for unspecified times, life experiences, or ongoing connections to the present moment. I have already called him twice today. Today is still ongoing, right? Have you ever been to Kyoto? It's the life experience. I've just finished reviewing the report. Recent action with immediate relevance. Now, expressing the future in spoken English comes down to intentionally. Will, spontaneous decisions made right at the moment of speaking. The phone is ringing. I'll grab it. I'm tired. I think I'll call it at night. Going to. Prior plans and intentions. Decided before the current conversation began. I'm going to take a coding boot camp next month. We are going to visit family this weekend. Going to. Predictions with visual evidence. When you can see physical proof right now. Look at those dark clouds. It's going to rain any minute. Now, modal verbs. Modal verbs allow you to adjust politeness and tone of your sentences. For polite requests, direct phrases like give me sound blunt, right? Use modal structures. Could you pass the salt? Would you mind opening the door? Soft suggestions. Offer advice without sounding bossy or overly authoritative. You might want to double check that. We could try restarting the router. Possibility and permission. Express nuance smoothly in daily interactions. May I ask a quick favor? It could take longer than expected. Now, prepositions can feel tricky, but this practical breakdown keeps them simple. At specific points in time or exact locations. It tells you about time, place. At 5 p.m., at noon, at night. Place at the bus stop, at the door, at the entrance. On days, dates, surfaces, and streets. Let's talk about time and place for the preposition on. On Monday, on July 4th, on my birthday. Place on the table, on Oxford Street, on the third floor. Now, preposition in. We can use it in enclosed spaces, larger geographic areas, and longer time periods. For time, we could use like in May, in 2026, in the summer, and in place, in Paris, in a box, in the room. Now, asking direct questions to strangers or colleagues can sometimes sound abrupt or intrusive. Direct could be feeling like, where is the restroom? Indirect, do you know where the restroom is? Direct, what time does the meeting start? Indirect, could you tell me what time the meeting starts? Direct, why was the deadline pushed back? Indirect, do you happen to know why the deadline changed? So the key rule here is to notice how indirect subjects shift back to standard statement word order. Subject plus verb. Where the restroom is. Now, where is the restroom? Let's take a look at this module, connected speech. Now, have you ever wondered why native English speakers sound so fast? Or why words seem to blend together into a continuous system of sound? It isn't because they are trying to speak fast. It's because English is a stress time language that refines heavily on connected speech and sound reductions. In this module, we will unlock these natural speech mechanics so you can both understand fast spoken English effortlessly and adopt a smoother, more natural spoken rhythm yourself. Now, here, let's take a look at three common speech reductions. Going to, gonna, used in informal future plans. In written English, what are you going to do? But in spoken, what you gonna do? Want to, wanna. Used for daily desires and preferences. In written English, do you want to grab lunch? In spoken English, do you wanna grab lunch? Would have, would've, or woulda. Reduced in casual speech. In written English, what would you write? I would have called you. But in spoken English, our call there. Did you understand? So you don't always need to write these down, but recognizing them gives you an instant advantage in understanding real life speech. Now, English is a stress time language. This means the rhythm of spoken English depends on stressed syllables rather than individual word counts. Now, content words, content words, but they have to be stressed, like nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. These carry the main meaning. Structured words, they are unstressed. Pronouns, prepositions, articles, and auxiliary verbs. These link sentences together grammatically. For example, we went to the park on Sunday. Notice how we glide over to the and on while emphasizing went, park, and Sunday. This contrast produces the natural cadence of English. To quantify this rhythm, consider the 60-40 rule. In natural conversation, roughly 60% of acoustic emphasis lands on key content words, while remaining structural grammar words make up the compressed 40%. Focusing on content word stress helps prevent robotic, word by word pronunciation, giving keywords their full vowel sounds, while gliding through connecting words creates immediate natural flow. Now, let's refine four core pronunciation mechanics. Come on. Changing stress can alter word meanings entirely. Present, noun, it's a gift, versus present, verb, we deliver. The TH sound, unvoiced, let's say think, thought, pushed air through teeth, now into voiced, this, there, brother. So here you could feel that vocal cords vibrate. The V versus W distinction. Let's say V. Touch top teeth gently to bottom lip. Wary, wine. And if we say W, round lips into an O shape, wine, water. So rising versus falling intonation. Pitch goes up for yes, no questions. Are you ready? Pitch goes down for statements endings and WH questions. Why are you going? Did you understand? Perfect. Now, here, welcome to Module 4, High Yield Phrases. We all know that fluency isn't about knowing thousands of isolated vocabulary words. It's about knowing how words bundle together naturally in native speech. In this module, we will explore natural collocations, versatile phrasal verbs, and go-to conversational phrases for everyday scenarios like ordering food, asking for directions, and making social plans. When translating directly from a native language, expressions can sometimes sound slightly off. Just avoid do a decision, use make a decision. Try avoid saying make a party, but use throw or host a party. Just avoid saying big mistake. Instead, you can use huge, grave mistake. Avoid take a mistake. Use make a mistake. So, using natural word combinations immediately makes your speech sound more authentic and idiomatic. Phrasal verbs are essential for natural spoken English. Let's focus on three highly versatile ones. Figure out, to analyze, solve, and understand a situation. For example, let me figure out how this works. Run into, to meet someone unexpectedly in public. For example, I ran into Alex at the grocery store yesterday. Now, call off. to cancel a planned event or meeting. For example, they decided to call off the outdoor match due to bad weather. Damn. Now, here are essential spoken formulas for daily scenarios. Cafes and dining. What could be? Just try yourself as well. Here it is. Can I get an oatmeal latte to go? Could we get the bill, please? Does this come with a side salad? Asking directions could be like, excuse me, I'm heading the right way toward the station. Or, am I heading the right way toward the station? How far of a walk is it from here? Mm, let's talk about making plans. Are you free this Thursday around 6? Let's play it by ear. Decide as things happen. Sounds like a plan. So, welcome to Module 5, Workplace English. So, communicating effectively at work requires a balance between professional clarity and warm, approachable tone. In this final content module, we will explore structured models for project status updates, phrases for managing meeting dynamics smoothly, and strategies for clear professional workspace communication. When giving an update on presenting an idea in a meeting, use the PREP framework to stay structured and clear. The PREP stands for point, reason, example or evidence, or point. Let's start with the point. State your main message clearly upfront. The new onboarding flow is live. Reason. Explain why this matters. This reduces setup time significantly for new users. Example or evidence. Provide a quick supporting detail or metric. Initial feedback shows 20% faster setup times. Now the point. Conclude by reiterating your core point or next step. So we are now scaling the rollout across all regions. Holding the flow, inviting contribution, wrapping up. Managing participation effectively keeps meetings productive. Holding the flow when interrupted, we can take a look at some examples here. Hold on 1 second. Let me just finish this point. Did you get me? To build on what Mark was saying, let's talk about inviting contributions. Sarah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Does anyone have anything to add? Now, when we talk about wrapping up, I think to recap our main takeaways, let's circle back on this next Tuesday. Now, here, this brings us to the end of our whole content slides. Now it's time to put these tools into practice. Fluency comes from active usage. We are now opening up the flow for live conversational roleplay and the question and answer session. Practice using the ARE framework, try incorporating connected speech, and test out indirect questions. Let me know what questions you have. Thank you so much again for being with me till the end of the video. Please do not forget to subscribe my channel Universal English with Happy, and please press the bell icon below so that you can never miss an update. And please tell me in the comments how did you like the video, and if you have some topics in mind on which you want clarifications, please type those in the comments and the next video could be yours. I read each and every comment and reply to everyone as soon as possible. Thank you so much again and happy learning.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं फिल्मोरा है ना।